Welcome, Flyers fans. You're listening to Chris Mayer, Flyers Fan Mania 93 on YouTube.
And there it is. The Flyers make it 13 in a row, the longest streak in franchise history. And look, I really don't have much to say. It's brutal, and a lot of what this has been self-inflicted wounds, them shooting themselves in the foot. One thing goes right, one thing goes wrong. Anything that can go wrong will go wrong, and it is just the chaotic storm of everything bad for them that could happen in a season is happening, and this is the worst season of Flyers hockey I have ever watched in my life, from a personal experience. Not sure about any of you guys, but for me, this is easily the worst one. So, lines for this game, a little bit different. So Sandin and Bunneman draw in. Everything else is the same from last night, besides Jones coming into this one. And Keith Yandel breaks Doug Jarvis's record. He tied it last night against Dallas, breaks it tonight at 965 games. I know Yandel has not been good for the Flyers, hasn't necessarily been a fan favorite. He's struggled in a handful of areas, but he's a guy that he deserves that. He deserves that streak, and for what he's done over his career, being able to carry himself and things like that, it's not an easy thing to do, and I know people are going to mock it, and I've already seen enough of it that people are going to mock it because he hasn't necessarily played well for the Flyers, but you can't take away from the accomplishment, and that's an unbelievable thing for him. And it seemed like the Flyers maybe could have started this game getting a win for him, and they scored a goal in the first minute there. Drew scores from the corner, and the Islanders get a power play a little bit after that, and the Flyers make it 2-0 off a pretty good shift. Braun with a shot from the point, deflected off of a skate there, off of Leddy and in, and that would be... Green, that would deflect off of there, and that would be a 2-0 lead for the Flyers there. It looked like it was JVR, but it was Braun's goal. So they have a 2-0 lead. The Islanders had 2 shots in the remaining 10:50 of the first period, and they both went in. Shot from Dobson from the point, and then Lee would score on a 2-on-1 on a pretty unfortunate play. It looked like the Flyers could have been, they were just half a step back from being covered or maybe breaking that up, and Lee scores top corner. So it's 2-2. Second period starts, and it was all New York in this one. The Flyers, in the final frame, I believe, had maybe 9 shots in the last 40 minutes of this game. Just not enough. And they just did not play well enough at all. It just seems like they have no compete level. They have no urgency. They have no anything. And it's pretty bad when Gary Mayhew looks like your best forward every night, because in the early in the second period, Flyers would score, but it would be easily waved off as no goal because Frost batted the puck in with his hand, just kind of out of instinct. Mayhew had a good game last night against Dallas, along with the Frost and Willman line, and I thought they played well again tonight. Mayhew was great in this game. So the Flyers, they had a couple good shifts, and they had 3 shots out of those couple shifts, and that was it. Islanders would get a power play, and they would score. Barzal on a cross-team pass that went right through everybody, and it was pretty much all Islanders for the most of the period. Then Braun would take a pretty dumb penalty right there. That's not a penalty that Braun should be taking. I think it's he obviously doesn't have a stick, so he just skates into the Islander forward and throws him into the wall, and Parise ends up going head first there, so that obviously wasn't the best thing, and they really didn't do anything in that period. It was all Islanders, and Jones, for the most part, kept the Flyers in this one. So early on, little 4-on-4 to start the third period, and Mayhew scores to tie the game. Beautiful goal, great move, and he's played better since he scored against Columbus. Off that kind of seeing eye shot, he just kind of floated at the line and just fired it, and it went in, and he's played a lot better. It seems like he's picked up some confidence, and him and Frost have gained a little bit of chemistry. And I think there's been different areas of that as well where they've played well. Sanheim had a chance on the 3-on-2 rush, really nice pass by Konechny there, and the Flyers get a power play, and they did absolutely nothing with it. That was their first power play since the third period of the Buffalo game where Giroux had scored, but that was it. I mean, they didn't have one against Dallas, and it took till the third period tonight. Just absolutely brutal for that one there, but the Islanders would get a power play on a delay of game from Frost. The Flyers had a handful of block shots, Lawton, Atkinson, and then right after, as the power play ended, Parise scores 4-3. It was just so unfortunate, and they ended up almost scoring again. and then the Flyers would have an empty net with around the 2-minute mark. They just could not get anything going. So they make it 13, and it's been I have no words anymore. I'm really struggling to find something to take out of these games, but there needs to be more from this team with what's been going on, and for them to keep playing like this, and certain lines just have to be better, because the JVR Drew Atkinson line, since it's been put together, I don't think has really done much at all. It's pretty bad when Gary Mayhew looks like your best forward. I thought Cam York had a good game. He had a really nice play in the first period on Barzal, as a play where he was kind of just skating right through and York just knocked it away. It's one thing I've loved about York. He's done it a lot with guys, and him playing with the handle, he's on a different side. JJ and Jonesy kind of talked about that, and so that's one thing that I've been liking and seeing, and it seems like there's been an improvement there from York, because he's kind of been he's been up for the challenge, and he had a couple shifts tonight where Barry Trotz was kind of putting the Islanders' fourth line against him and Yandel, and it seemed like they were playing pretty well there together at times. Obviously, their fourth line's very good, and they were, there were a handful of turnovers as well. I don't want to make it like that line played great against them, but or that pairing, I should say, but overall, it wasn't the greatest game from the Flyers. In the defensive zone, there was a handful of turnovers, and it just not enough offense. And when you only have a handful of shots through 4 in the second, and I believe maybe 5 or 6 in that third, from my eyes, it just was not a lot right there. So that's the reason they lose, and that's why the streak gets 13. So let me know your guys' thoughts below. Remember to check out Garrett Group Construction for any home improvement needs. Also, if you mention Flyers Fan 93, get 10% off. Butt ends, you can use code PHI for 10% off anything on the site. And SeatGeek, you can $20 off there. Use code Flyers Fan in all capital letters for any tickets, concerts, things like that. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll talk to you all again soon.